Lacey.
And I'm Sam.
Welcome to Monster Soup and Creature Brews, the podcast where we talk about all things monster movies, big, small, creepy, or downright ridiculous.
From movie monsters to cryptids lurking in the shadows of folklore, we're here to explore them all. So kick back, grab a snack,
Or a drink.
and let's dive into some monster-filled mayhem.
Welcome back to Monster Soup and Creature Brews. This week is our creature feature where the truth is out there and probably has claws. Let's swap some stories and see what's really lurking in the dark. This episode should come out on time. I am done with my Girl Scouts camping trip and it was cold. I was right about that actually. And I would also like to say, speaking about creatures and things that go bump in the night, we had Javelina get into the campground, tip over all the trash cans, and then, spread that around the camp. And then the coyotes came and chased the Javelina. So that sounded terrifying at 2 a.m.
Yeah, that's not scary at all.
Especially when you're in like a cabin with 10 8-year-olds.
I stand by. You can't get me out there. I'm just not a camping person.
Well, you're a dad. You wouldn't even be allowed to stay in the cabin. You have to stay in a tent.
More reason to never go.
So Girl Scouts is actually pretty strict about that. You, as a mom, you're allowed to stay in the cabin with the girls as long as you're background checked and everything like that. But any dads that want to come out and participate and chaperone, they have to sleep in a tent across the way. It's not even next to the cabin. So you would just be listening to the Javelina and the coyotes duke it out through your thin protective tent walls.
Yeah, no thank you.
Yeah, it's okay. Our daughter, she had a really good time. She learned lots of survival skills and you know what coyotes sound like. So I'm sure that made its mark.
And I was nice, warm, and comfy in my own bed.
This week's creature feature, we are not talking about javelinas, believe it or not, which for anybody who don't know are Arizona's wild pigs. They're kind of cute. They've got little stripies. They're really mean though, so you do your best to avoid them.
Yeah, lots of little Pumbas running around.
Yeah, but on this week's creature feature, we are going to be discussing a cryptid called Champ, or sometimes Champy.
Champy?
Yeah, which is not a terrifying name. Like, hey there, Champ. How's it going, Champ?
I can't wait to hear this origin story.
And then, so everybody does know, we are choosing our creatures from a book, if you would like to follow along, called The United States of Cryptids, A Tour of American Myths and Monsters by J.W. Oker. So if you'd like to own your own copy, and we're just going to be going right along through this book. Champ is the first cryptid featured, and it is aquatic type. Location is in Burlington, Vermont, and Port Henry, New York. Its earliest sighting is 1819, and its size is 15 to 50 feet long, depending on what report
Did you say feet?
Feet.
That's long.
Yeah. It's a big boy. And I'm going to be reading just a little bit from this book. Not a lot, a little bit, because you can't, copyright.
I'm sure people just straight up read books and record it and post it.
Oh, probably.
I don't know the rules when it comes to books.
The rule is that you're allowed to read passages if it's in the context of critiquing or talking about it, and you credit the original
Fair.
source. That way you're not just like doing your own freebie version of an audiobook.
I mean, YouTube's the Wild Wild West. You can pretty much find any book read.
I mean, technically you can do whatever you want as long as you're willing to pay the consequences. That's all the way up until murder. I mean,
Fair.
really, as long as you don't care what happens next, you can do anything you want in this world.
That's true.
So, reading from a passage of this book, over the centuries, descriptions of the beast have evolved from a here be monster style humped sea creatures to a slightly more scientific seeming oceanic dinosaur, or technically an extinct marine reptile.
Nessie?
Yes. With a long neck, bulbous body, and flippers, a plesiosaur. And while a dinosaur in a lake is just as strange as a sea serpent in a lake, cryptozoologists remind us that Lake Champlain and surrounding parts of Vermont, New York, and Canada were once submerged under the Champlain Sea, which extended to the Atlantic Ocean during the last ice age. Multiple ancient whale skeletons from this period have been found in Vermont, including the Charlotte whale, a beluga skeleton discovered in 1849 that today is the state marine fossil. This cryptid lives in the water. It is basically American Nessie. American Loch Ness Monster. There are 2 towns that sort of fight over getting to claim this. There is Port Henry in New York and Burlington, Vermont. They share the lake border.
Yeah.
So one of the more notable things about this particular cryptid is that there is allegedly an actual photograph of this one. On July 5th, 1997, a vacationing tourist named Sandra Mancy was picnicking on the shores of the Vermont side of the lake near St. Albans with her family. She saw a large brown head on a long neck breach the water. She grabbed her camera, as you would, and shot a photo that became fairly well known. And it has the benefit of being in full color, and it has been featured everywhere from Time Magazine to the New York Times. Her photo made Champy here officially dubbed America's Loch Ness Monster.
I'm curious what these people are actually saying.
I've pulled up the photo.
When was this taken?
1977.
I don't know how to feel about this.
It's a pretty good photo.
Yes. Problem with these really old photos, it's really hard to judge distance. Therefore, it's hard to estimate how big it actually is. Because that could be like a duck.
Okay, well, I have a whole timeline of Champy sightings. They really should have named it Chompy. That would have been so much more fun. Pre-1600s, indigenous legends. Local indigenous tribes tell of a great horned serpent or water spirit inhabiting the lake. They described as a powerful and snake-like, and it dwells deep in the waters, and that forms the earliest roots of the legend. In 1609, Samuel de Champlain.
It's always a Samuel.
It is a Samuel. You should feel honored, Sam.
I know.
Is credited with the first official sighting. He was a French explorer, and he records seeing a large fish in the lake, as thick as a man's thigh, a snout 2.5 feet long. Some historians believe he described a garfish or a sturgeon, not a monster. Still, this account becomes sort of retroactively linked to this legend. In 1819, Captain Crumb's report, the first major monster report by Captain Crumb, a black creature 187 feet long, that seems inaccurate, with a seahorse-like head, silver scales, and a red band around its neck. It was exaggerated but widely circulated in local papers in the 1870s. 1873, railroad workers near Port Henry report seeing a massive serpentine animal in the water. Also in 1873, on steamboat W.B. Eddy, passengers claim the vessel struck a creature large enough to shake the ship. And those events kind of give rise to the modern Champ name and solidify the legend. In the 1880s and through the 1930s, there were multiple sporadic sightings by various fishermen and boater. The term Champ becomes popular in newspapers and local folklore. Early postcards and travel brochures began featuring the Lake Champlain monster.
I mean, I wonder how many of these cryptid stories were just like, we need tourists.
Actually, that is kind of a thing. If you watch the History Channel, it wasn't totally unheard of for places to fake things because then it would draw people.
Dude, I'm telling you, especially back then where it's really hard to prove anything. And there's obviously, we know from the internet now, there's a lot of nutsy people out there who will believe in they will clutch onto anything that even remotely looks like paranormal or sensational. So like Bigfoot, Yetis, like anything that they can cling on to.
I kind of love the idea that it's actually just a plesiosaur that's been around forever and is living in the lake depths.
Right? And there's like a little cavern or something that it hides in so people can't get to it.
I would actually be willing to believe that because they have found like ancient sharks that have been alive for crazy long times.
Oh, they're just in the depths, right?
So there is a Greenland shark, and it is an estimated lifespan of at least 272 years.
Jesus Christ, I could imagine being on this earth for that long, especially as a fish.
And there's some scientists who believe that they can live up to 400 years. So there are some sharks that live obscene lifespans. So I just sort of love the idea that maybe there's just a weird, like, hidden pocket of dinosaurs, a la center of the earth.
Okay, I was thinking more like Kong Skull Island, where there's just areas that we've just never been to.
So you know what this actually is it's hollow earth theory in real life, and a plesiosaur is coming up through Lake Champlain to, like, breathe, maybe lay eggs, and then it goes back down.
Yeah, maybe it's like thinking like salmon, where it comes back to its origin place every, like, 20 years or something.
Yes, this is the rumor that we need to start. Champy is actually a plesiosaur utilizing hollow earth theory. I like that.
There's a lot we don't know. Plain and simple. There's lots of things we don't know. Places we can't get to. Probably not in our lifetime, but maybe one day.
Honestly, even if in our lifetime they discover ways to get to those places, I don't think I want to go.
Oh, I don't want to go, but I want other people to go and tell me what's there.
I firmly believe that alien life forms exist, and I also firmly believe that it ends very badly for us in our soft, squishy bodies.
I mean, let's be serious. We're probably under some kind of galactic protection because we're a primitive species that's still learning. That's the most likely scenario if there are aliens out there and they know about us.
I 100% believe that it ends like the movie Aliens, and they use our bodies.
I just hope one day, even if we can't actually get to certain areas of the Earth, I would love for there to, like, us to have scanners that are strong enough to, like, penetrate those areas so we can at least, like, get some kind of reading on what's down there, because that would be kind of cool.
I don't want to know. It's not meant to be known.
No, I hope we find it. I hope I'm really old, so if it starts the apocalypse, I just end it. It's not a big deal.
I don't want to know. Like I said, I believe it ends badly for us. Or like that episode of the X-Files and those worms get in their brains and start controlling their behaviors. I just don't think it goes well.
What if that starts to... There's like a bunch of like hibernating bugs underneath the Earth's crust, and then we go hunting, and they all just come to the surface and start fucking shit up.
Like Godzilla.
I was thinking more like scarabs, where they've been in like some kind of like suspended sleep state, and us exploring further into the crust or the mantle wakes them all up, and we start the bug apocalypse. We all start trying to run away to Mars or space.
That's actually a movie, but it's not about bugs. It's about aliens. War of the Worlds, where the massive alien tripods come out from underground.
Oh, I did not know that.
Anyways, back to our timeline.
Back to the actual topic.
Anywho, so back to what we were talking about. In the 1945 to 1970s, more modern sightings, there's frequent summer reports of humps and long necks in the lake. In the 1970s, cryptozoologists and amateur monster hunters began systematic searches inspired by the Loch Ness craze. And then in 1977, the Sandra Mancy photograph, which I showed you, the most famous piece of evidence in the Champ lore. She took that picture. It's circulated pretty globally. Some critics point out that that particular area of the lake is shallow, and it would be difficult for a large animal to maneuver there. But I think sharks prove that theory wrong. They go where the fuck they want. I would imagine if this thing is real, it does too.
I am of the mindset that creature, whatever the picture caught, if that's a real picture, it's much smaller than we're thinking it is. Like I said, those old pictures, it's really hard to judge distance. Mm-hmm. So she could be really, really close, and it's just something really, really small. And because the quality is so bad, it looks like more than what it is. Like I said, that could easily be a duck in a weird position, or like a bird that landed on the water weird.
Or a dinosaur using Hollow Earth theory. So 1980s through the 1990s, in 1981, the town of Port Henry erects a Home of Champ sign and later builds a large wooden statue. We should go see that.
Where is it at?
Port Henry, which is, I think, in New York. Okay, so in 1984, Champ Day is declared, an annual festival still celebrated in August. Ooh, my birthday. We should definitely go. Local baseball teams, schools, and tourism bureaus adopt Champ as their mascot.
Oh, so they'll have like a Nessie?
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what, though? It's better than my high school mascot, which was a tornado. That's not fun.
Mine was a ram. And let's be serious, the other one was a sailor. That's not creative at all.
My favorite school mascot I ever had was actually a wolf. And then we could howl at like football games and stuff. It was really obnoxious, but it was fun.
My mascots were not exciting. My middle school didn't have a mascot because each area had their own mascot. So there were like barracudas, there was the cubs, there mostly were either marine animals because there were like the manatees, or there were cats, like cougars or whatever. But like the actual middle school itself did not have a mascot. And elementary school, it was a turtle.
At least yours were like Florida themed, I guess. Most of mine were cat.
Oh, it gets better. All my other elementary schools before I went to that one that was a turtle did not have a mascot because all of them were named after people. So the school itself did not have a mascot. And elementary schools care a lot less about that. I think newer schools care more because they want to like boost morale or have kids get behind something.
I also think it just makes for good t-shirt sales for the PTO. No, sorry, the PTA, parent teachers. So I still remember my elementary school. They had a little chant, West Side, the best side, the place to be, woo! And our mascot was a wildcat.
I don't remember a single chant before high school. I'm sure we had them. I just did not care.
I think we used ours like a lot for an elementary school, to be honest with you, because it's not like we had sports teams. But I would have preferred to be the monster. That would have been pretty cool. Anyways.
We went super off topic.
We did. Sorry about that, everybody. Now you know. School mascots, they're a thing. In 2003, researchers from the Fauna Communications Research Institute recorded strange clicking and chirping sounds underwater in Lake Champlain. The sounds resemble those made by whales or dolphins, neither of which would inhabit a freshwater lake. And this discovery renewed scientific curiosity about the cryptid. In 2005, two fishermen captured a video of a shape moving just under the water's surface. FBI image analysts confirmed the footage was not tampered with, though they couldn't identify the creature. This video has fueled the cryptozoologist debates. And then in 2010, Champ appears in documentaries, children books, and even paranormal TV shows as a featured cryptid. In 2017, Vermont's Lake Monsters baseball team continues to feature Champ as its beloved mascot. Still cooler than a tornado. Regional tourism efforts amp up, and visitors can now go and visit key sighting locations around the lake, along with, the wooden statue and all the other stuff in the towns. And then in modern day, so the 2020s, drone technology and sonar imaging have created new expeditions with people attempting to map Lake Champlain and search for anomalies. Local environmental groups use Champ as a symbol for lake conservation, teaching that protecting the lake's ecosystem is as important as the legend itself. And then sightings continue with people, going out and going fishing and coming home and reporting having seen strange happenings. And then there have been occasional social media videos and things of that nature that are not verified.
Crazy that nothing can be verified.
That's the fun of it, Samuel.
The technology that we have today, if there was something there, we'd have found it.
I don't believe that. They find new stuff all the time. You watch an ocean documentary and stuff is terrifying down there.
This is a lake. This isn't like the ocean. The ocean, I could give some credence to something being hidden in an ocean. But in a lake where you can literally map out everything below it, it's not like this lake goes right to the center of the earth. It has a bottom. We can get to that bottom. We have the technology.
This lake is really deep, though. I feel like that should be mentioned. It covers 435 square miles and drops to a depth of 400 feet and contains almost 7 trillion gallons of water. It has 587 miles of shoreline and more than 70 islands and borders 2 states as well as Canada. It's one of the largest lakes in the country, so it is actually pretty huge.
We have sensors large enough to be able to scan and identify every living creature in the water for a lake of that size.
Well, we have sensors, but they would have to cover sections of it, and you would have to have funding and people dedicated to do that, and they just might not be willing to look for this. I'm going to try to find that video. So I have Googled said video. Let's see what this is.
The sightings of a watery monster in upstate New York's Lake Champlain have gone on for decades. But some truth about America's answer to the Loch Ness Monster may finally be revealed on a new videotape that purportedly shows a snake-like beast. Well, ABC's Jim Avila joins us now with more about the creature known as the Champ. Okay, you got our attention.
Okay, well, good morning, Robin. There is something in the water, a camera-shy, strange, weight-producing phenomenon. And now, to add fuel to the mystery up there, 2 respected, not crazy fishermen.
Not crazy fishermen.
Local legend, Lake Champlain, New York's answer to the Loch Ness Monster, Champ. Inspiration for parade floats, t-shirts, keychains, minor league baseball team mascots.
Whoever did the marketing for this was a genius.
This woman saw the monster 30 years ago.
Well, we saw the nose was probably about that big around.
And now, new exclusive video, obtained by ABC News, of something just under the surface, has brought Champ back into the news and back from the memory of Lake Champlain residents.
It looked like this, but the head looked just like the shape of a horse's head.
There have been grainy pictures before.
The story was getting stale. They had to refresh everything.
Real chance to get a clear picture. There have been hundreds of sightings, sometimes more than a dozen a year. So you got this long list of names here. Who are these people? What do they think they've seen?
These are people who say they've seen something unusual in the lake. Something with a
Oh my god, they created an official billboard with everybody's names.
Oh, I believe that.
Shouldn't be there in Lake Champlain.
Reporter Laura McKenzie
New life goal. I want to be on the billboard.
Sightings for more than 20 years.
Best guess would be that it is some sort of creature that possibly should be extinct.
The Champ frenzy began in earnest in the mid-1800s when P.T. Barnum offered the audacious sum of $50,000 for Champ dead or alive. Hunters and fishermen came out of the woods, but
There's always
fortunately,
crazies.
they never collected. And the search is still on, which brings us to the latest sighting.
People
by a
will do
couple of
insane things for money,
respected
though.
upstate New York fishermen who on a summer afternoon last year captured something on their digital camera.
As big around as my thigh, I'd say.
It made my hair stand on end at the time. It just didn't fit anything, any kind of creature that I'd ever seen.
Now, these two guys are not crackpots. They've lived around Lake
Look how
Champlain all their
they've
lives
had to say that
and were
multiple
skeptical
times.
about the
I'm
legend
not
of Champ
crazy
until
fishermen.
they saw
These men
this
are not
mysterious
crackpots.
wake.
It's almost
Unfortunately, their
facetious.
story is much more vivid than their video.
Boy, that looks like a serpent.
What we saw always stayed right on the surface, and parts of it would come above the water. The back, or the nose, or the head. What in hell is that thing?
But Champ is camera shy, and the fishermen say this is the best picture they could get.
I'm 100% sure of what we saw. I'm not 100% sure of what it was.
The tape is authentic. Two retired FBI analysts reviewed it for ABC News.
I can't find anything in there that would suggest or indicate to me that this has been fabricated or manipulated in any way. However, there's no place in there that I can actually see an animal or any other type of object on the surface.
Just an odd wake that for now merely adds to the further mystery of Champ, a legend that swims just below the surface and just out of camera range.
So what is it? You know, and I think most researchers believe
I mean, it does look like a creature. It just doesn't look like a huge creature.
Yeah, not nearly as big as it would need to be.
Not 187 feet, certainly.
Yeah,
Maybe like 8 feet? I don't know. Depends on how much was under the surface.
iceberg.
I don't know. I think it's fun. I think that there probably is something in that lake that isn't.
A creature that we're familiar with.
Yeah, I would say there's probably something in that lake. You know, it would be amazing though if it's like a little tiny mini Nessie, like a little baby one.
The fact that not only have we not found anything, we haven't even found skeletons. So even if this thing is like dead, right? Because it's been who knows how many years. The fact that we haven't found any skeletons either, I don't know. I'm a skeptic.
Well, we know that going in.
Yeah,
that you're a skeptic.
Well, like, there are some out there where, like, there are some plausibility that, there might have been something here. And this, for me, I don't know. I am inclined to think that obviously the original Nessie was highly unlikely to be what everybody thought it was.
You hush your face. I love Nessie.
What? I'm not saying it's not a cool idea, but let's be serious. Nessie was never a thing. That's not to say that there aren't water-based cryptids. I'm more inclined to think that, there might be something out there simply because we discover new aquatic creatures all the time. Mm-hmm. We just don't have access to where they are.
I like the idea that it is a creature that we are unfamiliar with. And so I'm going to say I believe in the possibility of Champ.
Champ's out there somewhere, or his descendants.
So I'm rating this as believable.
I don't know. Maybe. We'll leave it up for discussion.
Okay, so my official vote, believable. Sam is maybe.
Maybe.
Share with us your official votes. That's all for this episode. Thanks for listening to our creature feature. Keep believing, and for the love of all that is good, bring your cameras, people. Take pictures. Evidence.
If you run into a cryptid and you don't pull out your phone, that's the first thing people do nowadays anyways, is pull out their phone and start snapping pictures even when they shouldn't.
All right, we'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.